Life Insurance Corporation of India, India's oldest and largest corporation, as always had the last laugh in this bull run that Indian equity markets witnessed. What is going to be LIC's roadmap and game plan for FY15, and how is LIC gearing up to ensure some of the policy initiatives announced by government is implemented? To discuss all that and much more, we have with us none other than LIC Chairman himself, Mr. SK Roy. So thanks for sparing this time and speaking to ET now.
Thank you.
To begin with, although we are almost in the second quarter of FY15, how was FY14 for you? Because FY14, indeed, if I could say, was a mixed bag.
I'll answer your question in two parts. As far as our life insurance operations were concerned, we had a very fantastic year. We did unprecedented business in two quarters of the last financial year. We showed a very healthy growth in premium income. All our operational parameters showed very huge improvements over the past. As an investor also, we did quite well, considering the fact that there were periods when there were strains in the system. But as an overall picture, operationally as well as the investment part of our portfolio, we've done a very good job in the FY14, and I'm sure that FY15 will be even better than FY14 substantially.
So on a year-on-year basis, if I could ask you, how have been the numbers finally, what have been the numbers for FY14 in terms of your total income, in terms of your equity portfolios, your return as profit from equities? How does the numbers stand?
I will answer your question in terms of growths in percentages. Our income grew by about 19% last year, which for an institution of our size is a very substantial figure. Our income from investment also, from equity investments also showed very healthy trends, and that our FY14 figures are better than anywhere ever in the past.
Which means FY14, there were indication that after churning your equity portfolio, LIC booked a profit close to more than 21,000 crores vis-a-vis if you treat on a year-on-year basis. As you're saying, is this one of the best years for you in terms of your equity returns?
Yes, it would be one of our best years.
Okay. So coming to FY15, how are you looking at things from growth perspective? Because as also you're rightly mentioning, Q3 saw some unprecedented growth for you in FY14, primarily because of many of the products getting phased out with the change in regime. Now, A, the question is, do you have enough products in your portfolio? And B, how has been the first quarter and now the second quarter for you?
Yeah, you see, first quarter has been a very good quarter. We had given a very ambitious target to ourselves for the first quarter, and it's a great tribute to the resilience of Team LIC that we outperformed our target for the quarter. Second quarter is doing better than the first quarter, so I can say that the first 4 months of the current FY are very good indications that FY15 will be an outstanding year for us. You are right, we did extremely well, especially in 2 months of the last financial year. We have strategies in place by which we will overcome those humps which we had come across, and already we are building up enough buffers to ensure that whatever budgets we have given to ourselves for this year, those are going to be achieved very, very substantially.
So when you say first quarter, your own targets were surpassed, what would be like, say, FY15, what is the target that you have set?
We have taken a target of 35,000 crores of first premium, which is very challenging. It's something that is also necessary for us because we are the largest service provider in the life insurance industry. So unless we have very ambitious targets, the insuring public of this country will not get served by us. So we are very confident that we will be surpassing our 35,000 crores FP target this year.
So in terms of product mix, how are you looking at FY15 now? Also a special thrust being given on the pension products in the recently announced budget by the FM. Where do you see your products mix standing in FY15? Because also the whole product shelf in itself has gone a churn after a very long time.
Yeah, you'd asked me a little earlier about the number of products and whether they are adequate. So I'll answer both the parts together. As a life insurance company, I can't say that there will be a time when all the products that we want to have will be with us. Getting new products is a continuous process. We have 12 products now on the life side and 7 products on the pension and group scheme side. These are, with these products we are doing far better than we have done in the past. So I can't say that our product bouquet is inadequate at this stage. Yes, we want to have more products. We will be having more products as time progresses during the current financial year. The mix that you talk about, actually from the corporate point of view, we don't have a target, because it's ultimately left to the customer that what he or she wants, and we should have products which meet the demands of the market. So this is mostly not so much as a issue of corporate strategy as a question of customer preferences. The point that we need to ensure is that whether we have products which are sufficient to meet with the demands. I believe that we have them.
It was also very interesting to see FY14, the way you churned your portfolio, because that has been, after a long time, you got an opportunity churning your portfolio, because traditionally you have been investors for a very long time in all the blue chip companies. In that sense, how are you looking at FY15? Would this be once again an opportunity for a player like you, or do you think the valuations are too high at this point of time?
You see, we are comparing two very different periods. FY14 had ups and downs. FY15 has started on a very high note and it is holding at that level. So the circumstances are very different. So it will not be at all reasonable to say that the strategy which was followed in FY14 and the results that it yielded, the same strategies will yield similar results in FY15. That won't be a reasonable statement to make at all, because as I mentioned that they are very, very different circumstances. But we are long-term investors, and being long-term investors, we keep a very long horizon in our decisions whether to buy or to sell. Having said that, I have no reason to believe that FY15 will not be substantially better than FY14 as far as income from investments are concerned.
So we see once again you beating your own earlier target of 21,000 crores in FY15?
I hope we will be crossing that.
So other important aspect is also in FY15 now, with a new regime in place in Delhi, thrust on divestment, thrust on ensuring that there is a fiscal discipline. We expect in this quarter and the next coming quarters a lot of offers coming, particularly in the banking space to a large extent. You always have aggressively increased your stake in many of the banks. Would that strategy continue now with you getting an opportunity via the disinvestment program announced by the government?
You see, as far as the disinvestment program of the government is concerned, we see it as an investor. If a particular opportunity of disinvestment for the government is a good investment opportunity for us, we will definitely take advantage of that opportunity. I also believe that the past trend suggests that all these decisions which were taken by LIC have turned out to be very, very good decisions, notwithstanding what may have been the popular perception at that time.
But ONGC being the best example.
I don't want to go into names of entities, but the data is in the public domain. These have been outstanding decisions taken by the corporation. I am sure that we will be taking similarly good investment-oriented decisions whenever these opportunities come up.
So, in terms of actual investments, how are you looking at FY15 for your total investment portfolio, including equity, debt? Because again, FY14 we saw unprecedented investments, opportunities also for you to the extent of close to 55,000 crores, if my numbers are right, in equities.
Yes, we are very bullish about the investment opportunities which will come to us during the current financial year. I wouldn't like to fix a figure, but our guesstimate is that we will be investing something in the vicinity of about 3 lakh crores during the current financial year. As per past trends, approximately 15% of that would go into equity,
Which should almost be close to 55 to 60,000 crores.
Yes.
So coming back to the sector specific, the one issue finally which is being again relooked at is the whole FDI policy. Now this is a debate which has been going on, and LIC has in more than one time always said that they are open if it's not going to make any difference. How are you looking at this time, because finally there are indications that we could finally see that FDI cap in insurance being increased from 26 to 49. Being the oldest and the largest player, how would things be different for you, assuming that the FDI cap happens very soon?
Yeah, you see, if we see the speech of the Honorable Finance Minister while presenting the budget, there are compelling reasons why government is looking at increasing the FDI in the insurance sector. Those reasons will have long-term gestation periods. Capital will come in, expansion will happen, expansion will lead to increased penetration would lead to better coverage. So these are all very positive factors which necessitate government's decision to increase the FDI. On what happens with LIC, as past trends indicate, that whenever competition has been intense, LIC has been nimble-footed enough to work even harder and better and smarter to meet up with that the increased threat of competition, and that makes us work even better than what we had done in the past. I believe that that same thing will happen in future also, that once capital increases in the private sector companies, there would be expansion, there would be increase in penetration. That will make us take steps by which our gap between us and our competitors will not only remain the same, I believe it will increase further.
So having said that, from a customer point of view, where do you see the interest coming in from the customer at this point of time when it comes to life insurance products? Any specific trend that you are noticing?
See, I believe that the Indian life insurance market has a huge scope for development. It's very largely under-penetrated, despite all the good work that all of us in the industry would have done over the last, for LIC for 58 years and the private sector companies for the last 14 years. The issue is that since economic situations are changing rapidly, customer demands also are keeping pace with that. At this moment, we find that there is a very great desire for people to go in for conventional life insurance products, and that's what we are focusing on at this moment, and we believe that this market will do very well for us in the near and medium term.
So before moving on to certain specific sector specific questions, if I could ask you, how have things panned out when it comes to your international operations, with you also opening a new office in Singapore now? Because traditionally it was Gulf which has been dominating when it comes to your international pie. How are things changing, and in terms of any targets in next 3 to 5 years, what is that you want when it comes to income from your international operations?
Yeah, actually we are present in 13 countries as of now by a combination of offices, which are some of them our branch offices. Most of them are joint ventures with local partners, and there is one wholly owned subsidiary which you mentioned, which is at Singapore. I am happy to inform that all these foreign offices do very well for themselves. They are market leaders in their respective geographies. The income means that I am looking at dividend income because most of them are joint ventures. The income that we may get from those joint venture companies compared to what income is generated by LIC in India may not appear to be very significant. We are there in those markets to serve the local populations, which I believe is our main reason why we are there. I don't think the motive of making money out of those ventures is our prime determinant. I'm saying that those offices do very well. They are market leaders. They are all very highly profitable. We would like to increase our presence in more countries in the SAARC region.
Mr. Roy, although this is one issue which keeps coming back and forth, once again just before the budget, there was a discussion saying why could LIC not be listed. Now, although government has maintained that it's not looking at any such option, as a chairman of LIC, what is your thought, or how do you look at this discussion which keeps coming at regular intervals?
See, I have maintained that this is a decision to be taken by the government. I don't think I need to have a view on this. It's for the government to decide, and I'm sure that the decision, you yourself mentioned that government has said that it has no plans to do so as of now, but I don't believe that it is for me to have an opinion on this matter, and therefore I have none to say at this moment.
Okay. So moving on to certain other issues, we have seen off lately, and LIC also has vocally raised certain issues when it comes to certain investor interest, particularly of the domestic companies. What happened in Maruti, also there are certain issues when it comes to KNU holding more than 9%. Do we see the time has come when, say, a largest domestic institutional investor like you should stand up when it comes to protection of minority shareholders and their interest?
See, firstly, I don't want to comment on any specific company. The larger question is that what should be the role of LIC in protecting shareholder interest. I will like to focus on that. I want to say this quite unequivocally, that whenever we as an investor feel that our interests need to be taken care of, we take up the matter with the company concerned, and I must give credit to our investee companies that they have always responded to us and have always taken note of our concerns. And I believe that this is something which is an ongoing process. It's not that it happens once and then we forget about it. This is a continuous process. We are in continuous dialogue with some of these investee companies, and outcomes have been fairly satisfactory. I will say why fairly. I will say substantially satisfactory.
So, looking at the current macroeconomic picture where we stand, the first budget being given by the Modi regime, how are you looking at the macro picture from here on? Any specific sectors that you see is where you will place your bets on? How are you looking at the whole picture?
We all know that the economy is in a very, very positive frame of mind and sentiment at this moment. This will only further improve. That's my belief. Secondly, on the sectors that are likely to do better than maybe some others, I have a very clear understanding that the infrastructure sector will do very well. There would be a renewed interest in the real estate sector and sectors associated with both these, because there would be inputs into these two sectors which will also get a fillip in their operations. We are still looking at our traditional, I will not say favorites, but traditionally we have preferred sectors like IT, like banking, like pharma, capital goods. We see all of these doing very well in the near term.
Sir, another aspect which I would like to touch upon with you, LIC traditionally had invested in UTI Mutual Fund with a specific purpose as and when that happened with other PSU banks. Now you have your own LIC Mutual Fund. Market regulator SEBI in more than one sense has asked that the current shareholders should try and exit and that there should be a diversification in the shareholding pattern. What is your views, because other PSU banks of the opinion that given an option they are ready to exit. How does LIC look at it?
You see, I think this is a question which is better put to the government, because it's not as if that LIC had a mutual fund after we took a stake in UTI Mutual Fund. Our mutual fund has been in existence for the last 25 years. In 2002 and thereabouts, government decided that 4 financial institutions should get together and help and support UTI. It's for the government to take a call that what should be the role to be played by these 4 entities. I'm very happy to abide by whatever government decides. That should be the role of these 4 financial institutions.
But for you as a company, in the current valuation, would it be an exciting exit?
We don't know what the valuation is at this moment. Current valuation is not, I believe, has not been done, or at least if it is done, it is not known to me. So I wouldn't be able to answer that part.
As always, you are keeping the cards close.
No, I'm being honest. There is no valuation which is done, which is known to me.
Sir, looking at the insurance sector as a whole, with specific thrust being given by your regulator as well as from the policy makers, where do you see the insurance sector? Do you think 2014 or FY15 in that sense would be the turning point and the worst is over for the sector?
No, I have no doubt in my mind that the worst is over for the sector. I am saying this not only on the basis of our performance in the last financial year. Now, one thing which needs to be mentioned here is that in the last financial year, LIC showed growth in business. The private sector companies as a group did not show growth, though some major companies did show growth. But notwithstanding that, I think the current year has started well for everybody. The larger companies in the private sector are doing very well this year. So, I am very bullish that the life insurance industry is going to do very well in the current year.
Where do you see the growth numbers? Still in single digits? It's too early to get into the double digits?
I can say that LIC will be in double digit. And if LIC is in double digit, then industry ought to be in double digit because of the weight that we carry in the industry.
So, primarily you see the main regulatory changes are also behind you, or do you expect some more stringent regulations in store from IRDA?
That is a difficult question to answer because we do not know what IRDA wants to do in the short and medium term. All I can say is that regulation making process for a regulator like IRDA, these are early days still for the regulatory system in the life insurance industry. So I don't see that there is an end to regulations in that sense. Regulations will come.
Another issue I would just touch upon, because LIC Housing Finance was always perceived as the front runner when it comes to getting a banking license. That did not happen finally. Was it a disappointment for you as a parent of LIC Housing Finance?
No, I mean, I don't want to take a position on that question. It was a decision taken by the board of the LIC Housing Finance that they would apply for a banking license. It's a board managed company with which LIC has a very, very distant arm's length relationship. So I can't say that whether I was happy or unhappy because I am neutral to the outcome of that.
Mr. Roy, my last question, 3 targets that you have set for yourself as a chairman leading LIC for FY15.
The top 3 priorities that we would like to achieve in the current financial year: number 1, reach out to a very large market segment, much larger than what we would have done in the past. Number 2, make a valuable contribution to the growth and development of this country. And number 3, make LIC a satisfying experience for all the stakeholders, whether they are inside the corporation or the customers whom we serve.
Should I once again thanks for sparing this, pleasure talking to you, sir.
Thanks very much.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/etnow.